Great. Hi, everyone. TDA is in the house. Woo! I'm loving the color. Woo! We'll come to you, TDA. Let me welcome my guests. Let me welcome all the participants. They are all my guests today. Hi, everyone. Linda, I can see you. Chills, Stella, YF, thank you so much, everyone. Ukamaka, Vanessa, thank you. Victor, Enya, Dave, wow. Awesome. Glad to have everyone. I'm really humbled to have you all here this afternoon. I mean, for you to take out some time out of your rest today and just come and listen and learn from the stories of other people, that is really huge. And I do not take it for granted in any way. You're all amazing people. Thank you so much for your support. So we'll go right ahead and start. Like we all know, my HR Storybook is a live series. Basically, what we do here is to learn, we share stories, we have fun. There's no PowerPoint, there's no script per se. What we just do here is to listen to people's stories. They are true stories, and from their stories as well, they share principles and learnings with us, so that we also can take from that repository of wealth of knowledge and experience as well. And from their own experience, design our own particular path, learning from their stories. Storytelling is a powerful and beautiful tool. I mean, it's real. A lot of people can relate and connect with it. It's not theoretical per se, but it's people sharing what they've been through, how they've gone through it, what their learnings have been, and of course, the principles that has worked well for them. And not just only about things that have worked well for them, but in some cases, there are struggles. Really, no one is perfect. There are struggles, there are failures. And what we do is also to learn from their mistakes, so we can also equally avoid the mistakes that they've all been through. So it's just really around sharing story. It's another amazing session. Before I read the profile of our special guest today, please just give me a few minutes to play our HR story intro video. Relax, sit back. If there's anyone that you think should be part of this meeting, just send out a shout out, call your friends, your mentees, your colleagues at work. It's time for us to really learn this afternoon. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy. So if Bolaji had given you that target to be the top 5 person in the Thank you, everyone, once again. Welcome those that have just joined us. Might not be able to call all your names, but we can see you. Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you. So I'll just go right ahead and read out the profile of our special guest in the house today. First and foremost, she's one of our contributors to the HR Storybook. Taiwo story is on page 61 of my HR story, and this is one of the beautiful stories amongst the other beautiful stories in here that I like to always go back and draw some strength, from in some critical times of my career journey as well. So I'll go ahead and read out her profile. Taiwo Dayo-Abatan, TDA, and we call her TDA. She's popularly known as TDA. So TDA is a seasoned HR specialist, currently the group head human resources of Mutual Benefit Assurance PLC with 22 years experience. I mean, if somebody has worked over 22 years, it's someone we would all like to listen to and learn. Now, come on, 22 years, they are still in this race. Some people started this race and they dropped off. And some people started this race and they don't even know how to even fashion their career. But this is someone that's been consistently been in this career journey over the past 22 years and still counting, and not just living or not just on a career journey, but making meaningful impact. I mean, for me, there's just so much I want to glean from TDA today. So with over 17 years of those 22 years in HR, she has over the years developed competencies in a lot of HR functional skills, ranging from performance management, people and organizational culture, learning and development, manpower planning, and all of that. She's a trainer, she's a seasoned trainer who's helped people and organizations enhance their performance, and she has a very strong passion for HR service delivery. And this is one very critical area of HR. I'm an HR professional, so when it comes to HR service delivery, we have very few people who've been able to master the ropes over the years, and TDA is one of them. I mean, she leads and assists with implementation of HR initiative end to end across the entire HR value chain. Before she joined Mutual Benefit in 2017, Taiwo worked as head human resources of Total Health Trust Limited, a member of Liberty S South Africa, where she was very instrumental in driving the strategy for people and cultural change the company tried to achieve during their transformation from an owner-managed enterprise. She's an alumnus of the London Academy Business School, as well as Lanre Olushola Coaching Academy. TDA attended the University of Ado-Ekiti, where she studied economics and graduated with a second-class upper degree. She then proceeded to the Federal University of Technology, Akure, where she bagged an MBA majoring in management. TDA is a certified life coach. I mean, I can relate to her roots. Ado-Ekiti. I'm from Ondo State, and I have family members in Ado-Ekiti. My brothers too also went to University of Ado-Ekiti. So I can really relate to her. So she's been my sister a long time ago. Just to quickly wrap up and summarize her profile. Her profile is really heavy. I mean, as I'm reading it, it's just I'm taking a deep breath and catching my breath to let you know. Let you know how vastly experienced she is. So she's a certified senior HR professional in human resources, SPHRI. She's a go-getter. She's led her team, a professional team, to win CIPM HR best practice. And one of the things that that you can use to assess a leader is when their team actually wins. And she's also been able to successfully achieve that in terms of getting her team to be recognized, by CIPM as a way of giving back to the HR profession and fulfilling her passion, which is impacting and improving professionals. I mean, that's what really struck me, giving back. So you've worked over the years and you're still working, but you're not just living, you are giving back. For me, I found that really profound. So she is the founder and the host of Taiwo's Coffee Chat, TCC, a capacity building platform for HR professionals, and hosts its free attendance event where it's already in its 6th edition, as well as the HR Foundry, a learning platform for building and raising exceptional HR professionals with over 500 members. That's 500,000 and still counting. In the recent time, Taiwo has been the recipient of several awards. We can't list everything, but we'll just pick a few. 2019 Top 50 HR Nigerian Influencer on LinkedIn by Sales Ruby. 2019 Revenue Leadership Award as well by Sales Ruby. 2020 African LinkedIn Influencer Award by Tech Times Africa. Top 20 to 50 HR Influencer Award in the world by Social Michael. And very recently, 2020 HR Thought Leadership Award by Sales Ruby. And let me also say that the awards are also still counting. In conclusion, Taiwo is a dedicated, focused, and goal-oriented individual. I mean, we can tell from all our achievements with excellent interpersonal skills. She has imbibed teamwork as a philosophy. I would like to know more about why she's chosen teamwork as part of her philosophy as we proceed. And this guides her in her career. Taiwo is happily married and blessed with 2 amazing, brilliant children. Guys, please, can you put your hands together as we welcome TDA. Let's put our hands together as we welcome TDA. TDA, we are glad to have you in such an honor.
Where do I start from?
Okay, TDA, there's an echo at your end.
Okay.
Okay, maybe you might.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yes, it's a lot better. So TDA, can we get to meet you? Who is TDA? I mean, we read your profile. Who is she? Let's get to meet you. And how's your career?
Let me start by saying thank you for this opportunity to be here. I appreciate it, Lara. I don't know, you've read my profile, but at the same time, I'm humbled, and I just give God all the glory. This is just Taiwo. I'm Taiwo Dayo-Abatan. This is me, simply me. I'm a human resource professional. What else? This is just me. And I would say that you would ask that what drives me. I would say just one word: impact. I just want to make impact. I just want to influence people. And it comes from a place whereby I've experienced being alone. I've experienced not having that guidance. I've experienced, I look back and I say 22 years, a lot of people have made mistakes and they got their career truncated midway. And for those of us that have really ranked this thus far, I would say a typical YF, myself, and other people, I would just say share grace. Okay, so share grace, fine. But at the same time, too, how do we begin to correct the faulty foundations? How do we begin to guide other people? And that's basically what drives me, and that's what has brought me this far. I found myself in human resources. Someone may ask, was it intentional or accidental? I would say, in retrospect, I would say it was intentional. There's a way God maps our life's journey. And I tell people that your life journey is like a jigsaw puzzle, and God puts the bits into the puzzle one by one. And if you've played jigsaw before, you will find that at a point in time you can even try and see the picture or see what you're trying to set up. So looking at it in retrospect, I still believe I'm in a journey, but I would say that being in HR was intentional. A fallout of my background. I saw my mom do it. She was in administration for years in the university environment, and so I saw her. Then there was no HR in the university, and so what we had was admin department, and we used to go to her office then, and I see people streaming in and out. I see her table loaded with files, and then she having to sign. And each time she would say, people's lives and people's destinies are in my hand. I didn't take it to heart at that time. But looking at it now, I saw her as my mentor and I saw it as something I could do. So here I am, 22 years, and this is Taiwo Dayo-Abatan. Thank you everyone for joining. I'm looking forward to an exciting time, and I hope Lara won't ask me too much of questions.
It's not me, it's the people. So everyone, please feel free to type in your questions for TDA. We really want to learn from her. I mean, TDA said something very profound now. The fact that you saw your mom, participate in those administrative activities, and the words she said to you. So that takes me to my question. So in terms of discovering purpose, sometimes is your purpose actually embedded in what you do, or it can be outside of what you do?
Okay, so I will say something. Can we switch the word purpose with also vision? Can we say purpose or vision or your goal? And I would say yes, you can. Your vision can be actualized in different ways. You could find it in something you find easy to do. It could be something you got through a mentor. It could be either through a mentor or something you find easy to do. So I would say that in everything that we find to do, there's a purpose intended in it. No matter how little or how seemingly insignificant it is, There's purpose embedded in it. I would say that also, nothing happens to us by chance. Anybody who, I don't believe in luck. Oh, she was lucky or he was lucky. I believe in God's plan for your life. I believe in destiny. And so we should have this at the back of our minds that irrespective of where we find ourselves, there's a purpose to be achieved in it. There's a purpose to be achieved in it. Yes.
Awesome. That is powerful. So for every situation we find ourselves, there's a purpose. And that takes me to ask, if you're in a situation wherein you're actually struggling to get clarity to identify what is the purpose for this situation I'm in, how can they go about to gain clarity if they find themselves in such a situation, trying to identify purpose for that situation? Is there any experience that you've had that you want to share with us in this regard?
So let me share my experience. One thing is that every one of us must find a place of quietness. The world is chaotic enough. There's a lot of chaos happening around us. I don't want to use the word confusion, but there's a lot of chaos. And right from when we were born, up to a certain level, certain time for most of us who have eventually evolved, decisions have been made for us. So the school we go to, where we live, the courses we read in school, and things like that were decisions taken for us by others. But one needs to discover a place of quietness whereby you just begin to ask yourself, what is the purpose for my existence? Why am I alive? I want to say that it's not something that you just stumble on. You don't stumble on it. Let me share my own experience. I found myself in banking, and I found myself as a fund transfer officer in a bank. And all we do is that we chill. Then there was no online real time. Online real time started in 2000, year 2000. I'm talking about 1997, 98, 99. So there was no online real time. And then so we at the back end, the fund transfer officers will wait while the customers come in, they write their vouchers, they want to transfer, they want to pay school fees, we want to post salaries. And at the end of the day, we have to now start keying in those debits into those accounts. And then they took my own assignment a notch higher to take me to the control room. And in the control room, we run what we call end of day. End of day is after all the inputs, you now churn out those, churn out the report. I was there one day, year one, year two, and I asked myself, is this where I'm going to be? Just sit in front of a computer and be churning figures and churning out reports. But I found out that anytime I'm not running end of day, I go to meet the customer service person, and I found that I was finding joy interacting with people. That was how I got the word people person. And so I got back and I started thinking, what am I created to be? What am I created to be? And so right from time, I knew I was a people person. I love interacting with people. And I started thinking, well, that thing mommy did, that thing mommy used to do in UI, it seems interesting. Let me research about it. That's how I got to know about human resources. And then as far back as 1999, I had registered with, it was IPM then, not even CIPM. CIPM wasn't chartered. So I had registered with IPM, and I started with foundation exam. And I thought, well, easy peasy and all that. And after my foundation, I started to go and register for my MBA. But I knew that was what I wanted to do. So I will go back again. You don't stumble on purpose. You need to be intentional about it. You need to sit down and ask yourself, what were you created to do? Also note, there's a place of preparation, because if you don't plan well and you come out, you would fail woefully, and it would be an embarrassment for yourself. It would be an embarrassment. So if we say 15 years ago, nobody knew about TDA. 15 years ago, nobody knew about TDA. 17 years ago, nobody knew about TDA. Maybe a few years ago, because there was a place of preparation. And in the place of preparation, you will go through several experiences. God allows you to go through some experiences so that you can use your own experiences to challenge and to encourage other people. So yes, while I got into HR, I discovered purposefully inside of HR. Inside of HR.
Wow, amazing, amazing. I mean, you just said something that struck my heart when you said God allows us to go through things, events, activities, scenarios for a purpose, and you're supposed to use that purpose to be a blessing to others. And that's what we are doing here in my HR Storybook Live, where what we're doing here is just to talk about it. Let's talk about your experience and let's learn one from another. Thank you so much, TDA, for that. You talked about the place of introspection, finding out time to be in your own quiet space and think and reflect amidst all the distraction in quotes or the chaos that is going on out there now. And that takes me to the place of social media. So we are in a world right now that there's just so much information. There's a lot of information out there. And in the process of trying to be aware of what is happening, you also want to be able to create your own authentic story. How are you able to balance this, given the fact that there's so many activities out there, there's just so much going on, and yet you still want to be able to create your own niche to make you authentic and make you really your own space? So how are you able to find your own authenticity, right, amongst all the chaos and distraction and information that is going on out there?
I would say that, I would say it this way. Somebody's going to laugh here. Some people are going to laugh. I call myself a one-man mopo. I'm a one-man mopo. I think I told you several times. I'm a one-man mopo. What that means is that I shut down from every other thing. I shut down from every other thing. And I just focus. I focus on what I want to be. I focus on what I want to do. And it comes from a place of maturity. It comes from a place of maturity, whereby nothing moves you, nothing shakes you. You just want to do you. I'm going to break a table here. Also, that if the world doesn't give you a stage, create your own stage. If the world doesn't give you a stage, create your own stage. Create your own stage. There's a lot of people can decide to say they want to copy. A lot of copying is going on, but in my inner mind, I shut down from everything. I do me. I don't know how I'm going to explain it, Sha. I don't see any other thing. I don't see another person. I just do what makes me happy. I do what makes me happy based on my values. And one of my first values is fairness. Fairness. I want to be fair to everybody. Because I've been in a place of quietness before, I'm a very relationship-oriented person. I love building relationships. I don't burn bridges. Because I never know who I'm going to have to lean on at one point in time or the other. And so I value people. And it comes from mind, it comes from you. If you have the end in mind, you will think the way I'm thinking. Let me give you an idea of the end in mind. Think of where will you be at the age of 70 or 75. At 75, what kind of mentees do I want to have? At 75, where do I see myself as a brand? At 75, what kind of friends do I want to have in my kitty? At 75, how do I want my home to be like? When you have the end in mind, you become intentional and deliberate in every single thing you're doing. So most of the things you see out there about me on social media are gotten in the place of quietness. And my quiet time is between the hours of 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. It's as if my brain unleashes and those ideas come out. And that's just it. I just choose to focus on my lane. So let me use the word, day your day. Just day your day.
Day your day. Just do you. Day your day, I just do you. Wow. Profound. Wow. There's a lot that you have shared with us, TDA, today. It's really amazing. I mean, you're just shaking a lot of tables and you're reciting You're resetting a lot of mindset. You are changing belief systems, from what you just shared with us this afternoon. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. We have a comment from Osazua who says, wow, really interesting. I am also an FT founder an FT. Okay, sorry. An FT in a bank, hoping to delve into HR.
Bank.
Yes, bank. After hearing TD, I still have hope that I will be in the HR space someday. Somebody is hoping to.
Maybe I can quickly add.
Yes.
Maybe I can quickly add there. And so, for people who are seen to be there, I would still say I'm not yet there. We're still on a journey. When we're saying our stories, it seems like it's all easy peasy. No easy peasy. There have been bad times. There have been sad times. I know I had to leave banking and then go and work for a one-man business, an owner-managed enterprise. So I had to dish all my skirt suits and my high heels and start going in simple top and trousers. And I had to be the secretary, the cleaner, the nanny for the Oga's daughter, Oga's son, go and buy food for Oga. And even when his wife comes to work, then go to the bank, go and deposit money and stuff like that. But you know what? That was my place of development. That was where I understood how to run a business. I understood corporate governance from there. I understood what it meant to have employees and how to make sure that you make money between 1st and the 20th to pay salaries on the 24th. I understood betrayal, whereby employees leave your business with your ideas and they go. And it was in that owner managed enterprise that I did my CIPM, that I did my master's, that I got married, and a lot of things. There's gold in that seemingly dirty environment that you find yourself, because life is a journey. Life is a journey. Many of us want to just go and I went straight from school into an MNC. Good for those that were that favored. I won't say lucky, that were that favored. But in that space you find yourself, there's gold in it. I bought my first car from there. I did a lot of things right there. So by the time I came out a better person. I came out a solid, well-grounded individual. Let me go on the story of how I met my husband right in that office.
We want to hear that one.
I want to use that to challenge a few people here. The way we in the work environment, we come into work and say, I want to face my KPI, just my KPI. Let me just do my KPI. It's not my business. What happens in any other place? This young man walked into the office premises that day. I had a transaction with us, and the business development person had messed him up on that transaction. The next day was a public holiday. I think it was October 1st, was a public holiday. Until he was screaming hell, fire and brimstone at the reception. You guys have messed me up and all that and all that. I was obviously inside, and I stood up and I came out into the reception. Hello, how are you, sir? Please calm down, and things like that. I took him to my office, attended to him, did a refund, saw him up to the lift, and he left. As he was signing out, I got to know the story later. As he was signing out at the reception, I didn't know that he had asked the receptionist for my phone number. And so he got back to his office, and then my MD then called me and said, Taiwo, come to my office. I went to his office. Said, there's a young man I just left here now. He says he wants to marry you. I said, what a day. I said, it's not his fault. Is it because I came out to attend to him? It's not his fault now. And 9 months later, we were married. Woo. 9 months later, we were married.
Woo.
Yes. And then, next time we'll make it 20 years. 9 months later, we were married, and here we are. What would I say? Many of us forget about it, but it might not even be marriage. Many of us miss opportunities. We miss opportunities or things that can lead us into our breakthrough, like this, because of our non-talent. Because of our non-talent. Maybe I'll have met him later. Maybe I'll have met somebody else. But that's just basically the story. In the office environment, be a bit nosy. I'm not saying nosy 100%, but be conscious of your environment, be conscious of what's happening around you. Be willing to help. Be willing to help people. You never know what will come out of it. You never know.
Wow, from a place of service, fantastic. That's a very inspiring story. Thank you so much, TDA. We have a couple of questions in the chat box. We have from Tosin Olushola. Number one, she has 3 questions. The first reads, how can we identify our personal core values? Let's take number 1 first.
Let me answer.
It's for you before. Answer. It's for you.
it's okay. So maybe I don't know. Maybe because of my background, I grew up with academicians, and so we're too serious at home. Even at home, we were not allowed to put on the television Monday to Friday. We used to watch TV on Saturdays and Sundays. And so it was more around encyclopedias, it was more around newspapers, it was more around information, basically. Or we go to the lab and go and do titration and things like that. So from time, I'd always been the serious type. So I have a pack of cards. It's sold in the bookshop. It's called the value card. The card. The card, it's like a SWOT card or the normal cards that we buy. There are 100 pieces in that value box. And in the value box, there are 100 values written on each card. So face up, you will see the value, let's say integrity, and face down, you will read the meaning. I played that game several times, and I discovered my 5 values that drive me. Everybody needs to understand their values. You look at those cards and then pick each one and say, does this speak to me? Does this speak to me? Does this speak to me? You can play the cards over and over and over again until you discover your own 5 core values. Some may have more. I have 5. And then I indoctrinated it into myself. I imbibed it into myself. And when you say you are imbibing your values, that means you are living your values.
I know.
You are living your values. So my number 1 value, like I say again, is fairness. Fairness to everybody. Fairness to everybody. The second one is time consciousness. Time waits for no one. Time is a resource equally endowed to everyone. So how you spend your time determines the value of your life. And I could go on and on again. So Tosi, I would say that if you could get the value card, yes, try and get the value card, 100 pieces inside, go over and over and over again and turn out your own core values. And after that, let your core values drive you, imbibe them and let them drive you. Thank you. Lara,
thank you so much. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, EDA. Like you said, it's the value that resonates most with you that you can also sort of focus on as part of your values. Thank you. So we have question number 2 from Tosi. It reads, for someone who is up and coming, where is the line between daying your day and reaching out to learn from others?
Well, if you say you're still upcoming, you can't decide to day your day yet, because you are still in the process of learning. But at the same time, so you want to ask yourself, under whose canopy, if I can use that word, are you learning from? Who are you gleaning from? It's very important. Let me just share something also. Do you know that over time, we begin to look like or act like our mentors? I had a mentor who was a pastor, or who is a pastor, but I'm being real here. The man can lie. He can lie. I'm being real. No, I'm not. You say it's HR Storybook. We're telling stories.
No, let's hear the story. I want to hear it live.
If he can preach, he can pray. But he had a fault, and that was lying. And you know that mentor-mentee relationship is not servant leadership relationship. It is a relationship. So I was upfront with him to say, sir, some lies, eh? So you are dropping some lies. You told that person you would do ABC, but you and I know that you will not do it. And do you know what, guys? There was a particular time I was also lying. Somebody was asking me yesterday and said, I sent you some chats, but TD, I found out that you respond back to chats maybe 2 days after or a day after or hours later. And I said, yes, it's deliberate. Deliberate because I want to be truthful in everything I'm doing. I want to be real. So that I won't spontaneously give you a response that I know I would not be true to. I don't want to give you a response that I know that I would not live up to. So I take my time to respond. Back to Tosi's comment, but Tosi's question. Because you are just upcoming, you cannot day your day. You can't. But it's important that you are careful under whose canopy or under whose or who is tutoring you or who is leading you. Because at the end of the day, you would be a reflection of who they are. So one needs to be very careful around that, but you cannot day your day. Still mingle, still connect, but be careful, I would say that.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thanks for being very real in your response to us. We have the last question from Tosi. It reads, how can one filter the information flying everywhere, online and offline, to pick out the important ones without getting confused?
Okay, so I will say I'm a Christian and I believe so much in scriptures, and I will go back again. So how do you want to understand? Well, how do you want to differentiate heresy from falsehood and heresy from what the scripture is saying? So you need to understand yourself. You need to understand your career. If you're HR, know what HR stands for. Know everything. Know your lexicon. Know the diction. Know the courses. Know everything you need to know about HR and be grounded. Only then can you sift the truth from the falsehood or the seeming noise going all around. Let me tell you something. I was sharing with a class I was in yesterday, and I said, so many things we see on social media are people's opinion or perspective about issues. You have not been in their shoes. So when you read such things, don't swallow it hook, line, and sinker. You go back again and put out what you know based on facts, based on figures, based on your own experience, and then strike a balance. I will simply say that.
Absolutely. Spot on. That was spot on, TDA. Thank you so much. So we have a question from Ebube Festus. On marriage matters, ma'am, reading your profile on my HR storybook and how tasking can HR be? How do you manage your family affairs with HR, ma?
About it, it's not easy. As I speak to you, my husband is with the kids downstairs. I just heard him telling them that your mommy is in a session, you're making noise. So it comes with a lot of sacrifice.
Same here.
It comes with a lot of sacrifice. And so I would say that for marriage matters, marry somebody who is understanding. Marry somebody who is ready to allow you to fly. Marry somebody who is ready to go the full hog with you. For me, from my end, I would say I have someone who is extremely supportive of me, very supportive. He has allowed me to be who I want to be. And so, for example, yesterday I left the house at 6 a.m. I came back at 7 p.m. I was in a class 8 to 5. And so yesterday was 0 for him. He was at home throughout with the kids. And so you need to marry somebody who understands you, who shares your values, who shares your goals, and who wants you to succeed, who doesn't see you as a threat, wants you to succeed. So I would say for those of us who are not yet married, please think about it very well. Have long discussion on what exactly you want to achieve, and you guys should find an alignment with it. But it's more of sacrifice. So for example, I've had to pull my kids out of boarding house. I have a 10 going on 14, I have a 10 going on 11. I've put them out of the house because I want to spend more time with them. So we go to work together, I drop them off, and we come back in the evening. Because at this stage, they're very, very impressionable. maybe in 2 years and they can go back. So it's more of you just trying to find a balance along everything you are doing. God will help you.
Awesome. And that is really important because for us to be successful in our career, the person we marry plays a significant role in terms of supporting our career progression. That is really, really important. Thank you so much, TDA, for that. So we have a couple of questions in the chat box from Stella. Learn to leverage on your environment. Abimbola states, wear a heart of service. There's gold in all similar dirty environments you find yourself. That is profound. We have a question here from Osazua. It reads, please tell us the efforts that you made while you were at the bank and the one-man company that helped you get to HR.
Okay, so I would say something. In the bank, I didn't make any effort because there was no time. You would never have time. So you come in at 7:30 before the banking doors open at 8, and you must be at your seat doing your work. And then after I don't know what time bank doors close now. Is it 4 or 5? Once the doors close, you start the back end work. And then you do that from January to December. And December 31st, you're all at work, running end of year, doing various analysis and all that and all that and all that. So while I was in banking, I don't think I had a life. I became grounded in that one-man business. Every single thing I achieved was in that one-man business. I was preparing myself, and so I never at any time saw it as I had no hope or that I had no future. So I used that opportunity to develop myself. All my Microsoft Office skills that I had, I learned it there. Playing with the computer, the IT people who are doing IT support for us will come. I will say, teach me this, teach me that. All the VLOOKUP on Excel, I learned them there. How to use the PowerPoint, I learned them there. How to write memos, I learned them there. My CIPM, I did it there. My master's, I did it there. I was carrying myself for that future. And so when I felt that it was time for me to move, I started looking out for vacancies. The vacancies opened up and I went for interview, and here I am today. So
wow.
you need to be intentional about your own personal development. Nobody has to push anybody to do anything. Map out your end, have an end in mind, and then map a journey towards it. So end in mind is vision. Goal setting is how do I get there? And so run your own race. There's so much competition out there. Run your own race.
Coach TDA dishing it out hot. Wow, that's the coach element. I can feel the coach element in everything you're saying. Wow, amazing. Thank you so much. I'm so loving and enjoying this session right now. We have a question here from
Wale Smart. Okay, the question. Go ahead.
Yeah, before Wale, so there's a question from Sheon Damilare Victor. It reads, what is the most costly professional mistake you made as an HR professional, and how did you redeem yourself? Tell us, how did you do it? Let us know. You've been so real. We want to know how were you able to get over your mistakes and your flaws as an HR professional.
So I would say, I used to be very temperamental. I'm not temperamental again. I guess with age, I'm more matured now and all that. So I don't have outbursts again. Rather, I'll just go quiet. Lara knows me very well. I'll just go quiet and then retrospect and then come out again. Okay, so one of the professional mistakes I made was to lose my cool at a meeting. And so the learning from there is never take anything personal. Work is work. Nothing personal. It was a major meeting and I lost my cool. And I lost my cool with a senior, somebody who was in a higher cadre than I in the organization. Maybe because I was a woman, there were other women there. They had a bit of pity on me. So the MD had to call the meeting off. They called the meeting off. And then I told everybody to go to their offices. And then later he came to my office to tell me how what you did was wrong. We began the query for that, and all that and all that and all that. You know, because I told them I'm very relational. Immediately the MD left my office. I started calling every other person that was in this category. All the EDs and every other person, I started calling them, talking to them. I apologized for what just happened at the meeting and all that and all that and all that. The person that I had the tiff with went to his office, sat with him, and I apologized. So by the time the MD got to the other people, they were all on my side. Though I was still expecting that query, but it never came. It never came. So what did I learn from there? I learned that work is work. There's nothing personal in the office. The second thing is that when you come into the office, drop the gab of who you are, that is your name, your family or anything, and put on the gab of the role you occupy. That way, people, they're able to manage your emotions better. So when I go to work and I'm entering the gate of the office, I'm going to that office as the head of HR, not as Taiwo-Abatan. And so when people do things, it doesn't get to me. It's the head of HR. It's the role. It's the role. You also need to have a very forgiving heart. People will always hurt you. Just have a forgiving heart and let things go.
Wow.
I hope I've answered that.
Oh, yes.
But I lost my cool. Lost my cool.
We're all work in progress. I mean, that's what I say a lot of times. We are all work in progress. Thank you so much for being very real yet again in your response to that question. We have a question from Rita. Service delivery is cumbersome. How did you manage through the process and still become people person? Tide, you're mute. Tide, you're mute. Please, you need to unmute your mic.
Okay, can you hear me now? Okay, so I will use 3 words: policies, processes, people. Policies, processes, people. If you want to excel in HR service delivery, you must have your policies in place. If you don't have them, go and churn them out. I was in an organization in one of my lives, and they used to call me Madam Policy. I had policies for everything. I had documents for everything. Because when you're dealing with people, like I told you, one of my core values is fairness. You want to do things on a premise of fairness to everyone. So your policies, you develop your policies, you formulate your policies, you develop processes to activate them, and you implement them through people. So for HR service delivery, have your policies. They're like your Bible. The handbook and the policy are like your Bible. And then you have processes. Processes means your flow chart. If somebody is requesting for sabbatical off work, how do you do it? Or have your flow processes, and then implement them through people. What I'm saying by people is that have your stop work sessions. Educate your people. Let them know what's up. Many of us have policies that are in a shared folder on our system, and you tell everybody they're on the shared drive. Everybody can go there. No, HR needs to run sessions regularly, letting people know these policies and how they run, and then you have peace of mind. That way you're not bending rules or not doing anything unlawful. So that's how I've been able to meander around HR service delivery. The second thing is to be creative. You need to be creative in every single thing you're doing. So in your recruitment, how are you doing your shortlisting? In your onboarding, what happened at your onboarding sessions, your orientation sessions? What do you do there? Try and be creative. HR service delivery, that's the best way to showcase yourself as an HR professional in any organization, because that's what they see about us. Forget the strategic part of HR. In that HR service delivery, you can showcase and be the best.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Thanks, TDA. We have a question from Prof himself, Wale Smart. Please, can you share a major case of corporate betrayal / gang up and how you handled it from the emotional and professional angle? I think, Prof, I'm sure that you are aware of some story around this in the past for you to be asking TDA. TDA, over to you.
I want to share. Imagine you getting okay, so you're going to a board meeting, and of course you've touched base with everybody on what you want to discuss and things like that. And then you get to the board meeting, you lay the cards on the table, and they're looking at you blank. They're looking at you blank.
Wow.
And then you're waiting for them to, chip in their own side of it, and nothing happens. And so that initiative just falls flat like that. Bam. And then you go back after the meeting, but what's up now? We discussed ABC. But you know what I learned from there? Try and understand the leadership body language. I didn't understand. The dynamics changed along discussions at that meeting. But I was still thinking, dynamics changed. But I was still thinking, yes, even if everything, you are still killing yourself here. I still have my own thing I want to put on the table. I should have killed it. I shouldn't even have brought it up at all. I shouldn't even have. It was a gang up. I was like, what's happening here? Or have you tried to implement a policy? You try to implement a policy, you've gotten board approval, exco is in support, and then boom, you do an email to everyone in the organization, and then you get a backlash. Who sends you? From where to where? How? And you're wondering, so there's always discussions going on behind the scene. Try and get behind the scene. Try and get behind the scene. Try and understand when body language changes, when the political climate is changing. You have to be extremely flexible. Your radar must be sharp. But you know what I found out? For me as a person, the place of work, no enemies. The place of work, no enemies. I dust myself and I move on. There are days I'm at work and I cry. There are days you feel alone, but there are days that everything goes all rosy and you are happy. Build your alliances. Have your allies. Know who is at the gate post. Know who to call at what point at this point in time. Many people are stuck in the middle at middle management because they don't know how to play the dynamics. They don't know how the dynamics operate. And so when you understand it, you will be able to meander through. You will be. So yes, several times I've been hurt several times, but I allow things to go. I want to still be beautiful. I want to still have peace of mind. I want to still be happy. And so when you keep those things in your head, it has a way they affect you emotionally and physically.
And they drain you and affect your mental well-being.
They drain you. Exactly.
Thank you. So we have a comment from Ukamaka here. Let me buttress that the banker can begin his HR journey by mentioning it in his or her HR appraisal that he wants a reassignment. This worked for me. Ukamaka is a banker, and then she's just shared what has worked for her. Thank you, Ukamaka, for sharing that. Okay, we have a question from Ebube Festus again. Thank you so much, TDA. You mentioned having values you stand for and also about your mentor lying. How do you balance the value of truth, especially as an HR person where you have to keep some confidential information for your stakeholders or the employees? And how do you balance the value of truth? You're on mute again, TDA, you have to go.
Let me close up on the issue of that my mentor that used to lie. I dementored him. I dementored him. If I can use the word. So we had a long talk, and I said, for me, I think the mentoring journey needs to end here and things like that.
No value alignment.
We're still best of friends, clocking 60 very soon, but that's okay. In terms of how do we manage as HR not to lie, even though we have confidential information? So I've learned to use words like work in progress, ongoing, well knit, no decision yet, and stuff like that. So that ongoing is still ongoing. Have I lied? Work in progress is still work in progress. And so even as HR professionals, we need to be concise with our words. Too much words and people will misquote you. In communication, there must be no ambiguity and there must be conciseness when you're communicating. So, and I don't leave anything open-ended. Your values will make people know what you stand for. They will know. They will make people know what you stand for. So, for example, you finish performance appraisal in the office, and you see people streaming around HR. They don't come near me. Nobody will ask me how for performance appraisal. No, until the day the email goes out on the results, nobody hears him. Nothing, because they know what Taiwo stands for. Don't come and insult you. Just want to go and embarrass yourself when you go and ask her something. Let your values reflect in everything you do. Values are not tangible, but people can feel them, because it's a reflection of who you are. It drives you. So in HR, we don't lie. You can afford not to lie by being choosy with your words. You can afford not to lie by being choosy with your words.
We just manage the communication. We don't
manage
lie at all.
Just manage
it. Hey, questions are still coming on. It's past 4 PDO. Okay. Thank you. Let me go on to the next question from Sheon Damilare. As group head of HR, what advice do you have for HR professionals aspiring to become head of HR as it concerns stakeholder management, executive boardroom presence, aligning HR agenda with corporate objectives, and other key HR competencies needed to succeed in the role? Wow, this question is loaded.
It's loaded.
Over to you.
So
yes.
Yes. For I think for 6 months, I had this word resonating in my mind: stakeholder philosophy. In the owner-managed enterprise I worked for, what was happening there was shareholder philosophy. Money is good at the end of the year. Your staffs are paid seemingly well, and then the shareholders take the money. Stakeholder philosophy was a key one for me. I needed to be able to draw that chart and say, who are my stakeholders? And for each of your stakeholders, taking those things over, each of your stakeholders, know what cuts it for each person. Know what cuts it for them. If it's somebody who is a gift person, know that you're going to be buying gifts for that person regularly. If somebody that loves greeting, know that you must be greeting that person. Understand your stakeholders and be ready to know what cuts it for them and meet them at that point. The second one for you to rise the ranks is that you must know your job. You must be worth your onions. You can't go and say you're a senior HR and you're blabbing. You must be grounded. So I would say that spend time to develop yourself. Self-development is key. You need to develop yourself. Then in terms of executive presence, for some people, it comes naturally to them. But for some people, they need to be trained. So I know that I've gone for trainer courses once or twice, and it's part of it. Go for trainings on public speaking. Go on trainings on personal grooming. Groom yourself. Like I said, for some people it comes naturally, but for some people you need to groom yourself, because you need that presence to be able to operate at that level. The executive presence, you need it. But there's no magic. Develop yourself, understand your stakeholders, and develop yourself, understand your stakeholders, and also have a very thorough idea of the business. You must, at a point in time, you must start speaking the business language. So even people ask, at this time, I'm saying I'm even doing less of HR, but more of business strategy achievement than HR at this level. Because what has earned you the role is your knowledge. They know that you know it. But what will take you further is your understanding of the business also.
Awesome. Well, Tidi, I could relate with everything that you've just shared. That was so spot on. Thank you. We have one more question from Sheung. Have you worked in a unionized environment? If yes, what major lessons can you share with professionals having challenges dealing with the pressure and politics of such an environment?
My current environment is unionized, and I would say it's a challenge because union people can be a bit difficult. what I would say is that as much as possible for everything you're doing, remember your collective bargaining agreement, your agreement with the union. You must abide with it when it comes to your people. The second one is that you need to build strong relationships, even with those union members. Don't see them as your enemies, see them as part of the tripartite. So we have government, we have the union, and we have the employer. So it's a tripartite body. So see them as part of that arrangement, and that see them as a necessary evil. So build relationships with them. The third thing I would say is that please learn to manage your emotions. They are so emotionally aware and sensitive that they read 1,001 meanings to every single thing you're doing. So you need to be aware of your emotions. The fourth one is that build and engender trust with them. Build and engender trust with them. So we always see union on the other side of the table. Build an environment whereby you're seeing union on the same side of the table with you and as an ally. Are you able to meander through? Do they always have issues? Yes. Are they resolvable? Yes. So please don't be threatened that you don't want to work in a unionized environment. I don't even think you can avoid it.
Okay.
But yes, in a current environment where unionized.
Absolutely. I think for me, you've shared the strategy to be able to better manage union within the work environment. Thank you. We have one more question from Tosi. Is it possible for an organization to say they don't want a unionized environment?
Sorry, can you hear me? Okay,
yes.
No, it's not. You can't say that. I think we have part of the Constitution is freedom of association. So people are allowed to associate. Yes, so you can't say you don't want a nice environment. What I would say is that maybe your organization should ensure that your value proposition is so strong that your people are not attracted to union. Let your value proposition be so strong. And I would define your value proposition as what will make your employee brag at the neighborhood barbecue? What will make them be able to flaunt where they work? So work on your value proposition, but you can't debar them from joining the union.
All right, thank you so much. The questions are coming. TDA, what do we do? Okay, we'll take the last question, please, from Osazua. It reads, concerning values, if you value...
Why do you want to take the last question?
Well, okay, I think this is the last question that we have for now in the chat box.
Go ahead.
Yes,
go ahead.
Yes. Concerning values, if your value is opposite of your supervisor's value, how can one manage it? E.g., assuming that your mentor that usually tell lies is your supervisor, and you notice that you don't like lies, and now it is affecting your appraisal. What is the way out? You have conflicting value with your supervisor at work.
I think I've been in that situation before. But I would use two words here: respect and regard. And I think we always interchange those words, but for me, they mean two different things. I would respect you if we have a value alignment. I would respect you, maybe if you're my family member. I would respect you because you're my pastor. I will respect you because, you get what I'm saying? I will regard you because you're my supervisor or you're my boss in the office, and I see you as a unique individual. You are who you are. So I will give you that regard. And I will also understand that we're two different people. As long as we don't have a mentor-mentee relationship, it's strictly a boss-subordinate relationship. I will give you that regard. Also, that many of us are not audacious. I'm a very audacious person. There's nobody I cannot confront. I can confront you in a nice way. If I have to go and pray and fast, I can even do it. When I had that challenge, what I did was to take time. I understood my boss and I walked up to him. And I said, I want us to talk. And I told him things that he was doing that I felt was affecting my career and affecting my job. Do you know that when you confront people, they simmer down somehow? When you confront people with their truth, They calm down. Yes, when you confront them with their truth, and then they calm down, and they even find a way of even giving you some respect. Girl, you ma, oh my, she back okay. And we sat down and we talked. And I said, oh liar. And I said, they're my boss. I understand, but these are the things they're doing that is paining me, that I don't like. Guess what? My appraisal changed, because you know that fact that this girl is aware. Some people think they do things to you, they think you're not aware. Let them know that you're aware of what they're doing. So instead of you mumbling up, feeling bad, talking about your boss, back chatting that person and all that, walk up to that person and have a conversation. Life is not always, things are not always as we seem, as they present themselves to be. Wow. Also know that assumption is the lowest form of communication. Never assume anything. That person could also be going through issues. Never assume.
Never assume anything. Wow. And I think it also speaks to the fact that you also need to communicate and make your value system known as well. So if you have a supervisor whose conduct doesn't align with you, you need to let them know what you stand for. And I think somehow they get to respect you. I know this person, this is what she stands for, and we respect her in our own space. Awesome, powerful, amazing. Wow, TDA is 4:15 already, and we've been having an amazing time listening to your story, learning from you. You've been giving us a lot of wisdom, coaching tips. It's been an amazing time. Thank you so much, TDA. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. Thank you for being your authentic self. Thanks for sharing your truth with us. Sean says, I like all your answers to my question and to others. And that comes from a place of being real and being truthful, to yourself and to people. And that is what my HR Storybook Live Series is all about. We just want to hear it raw and authentic, and let's learn from it. No one is perfect. TDA, on that note, I want to appreciate you once again for making out some time. You're a very busy person, but you've decided to grace this occasion with your time, and we do not take that for granted. On that note, I would like to invite Toyi Podicom to please share the vote of thanks on behalf of my HR Storybook Live Series team. Toyi, are you in the house? I mean, I've been having a great time since we started. Yes, so over to you, Toyi.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you for the opportunity to do this. This came as a very, very interesting, my HR Storybook Live Series, because TDA is someone that I have a great deal of respect for, someone I have a bit of a history with. And before I go too far, let me do the job that they've asked me to do, because it's TDA. So TDA, on behalf of Coach Lara and all of us here at my HR Storybook Live Series, I want to say thank you so much for creating time to be here. We know that you value us and you value what my HR Storybook represents. That's why you created the time. And then you value relationships. I know you are someone who doesn't, talk too much when it comes to your people. When you need to create the time, you create the time. Whatever you need to do, you make yourself available. But we do not take it for granted at all. I want to say a huge thank you to you. From a personal note, I've seen you as someone who doesn't just talk. I keep on saying you walk the talk. And from what you've told us today, it stems from from a great foundation, great value system, and wonderful parenting. When we see you and what KWO does, you know that your parents laid a wonderful foundation for you, and we see the fruits of it. And we share those fruits to we up-and-comers in the HR space. I want to say thank you. We appreciate you. Owonyama Rokeo, as they say, Ilesha you need to know. In Jesus' name, may the Lord continue to strengthen you and give you the grace to do what you do. Amen. We know you are purpose-driven, and we thank you for sharing of yourself to us all here. Thank you so much. God bless. And thank you to Mr. Dayo-Abatan as well, who has lent you to us in HR. We don't take him for granted at all. Please, our deep, deep regards and gratitude to him as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
God bless you.
I enjoyed myself. And Lara, thank you for wearing red.
Thank you.
That's the spirit of sisterhood.
Yes. You know.
Thank you. Thank you everyone that joined the session. I hope I didn't just mumble. I hope I talked sense. And I hope you took some lessons away. Thank you very much.
See my notes.
Like
Can you see my notes? Can you see? I've got 2 full pages.
Life is a journey. Let's discover our purpose on time, and let's just hit it. And then let everybody be fine. We'll all be fine. We'll all be fine. Thank you very much for having me. I do have a beautiful month of March. To all the women out there, International Women's Day, happy International Women's Day in advance. And let's keep breaking the glass ceiling. Let's keep breaking it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
At this point, I would like everyone to just come off mute and let's just say thank you to TDA. Let her hear our voice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mama TDA.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
We are
so
grateful.
much.
Love you, TDA.
Blessing us with your wonderful experience.
Thank you, Coach.
Lara. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Thank you for making out some time. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
I can see Linda. I can see Davida. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
I can see Waya. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Wale.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rita, Rolly, Motayo.
Have a lovely week ahead.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
I have to run now. Another session.
Oh, okay. All right, sis. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.